3 weeks ago, we were getting ready and testing for Raceweek 2.0. That's where we're at right now. Now, I've been having a problem in first gear on this car since I put the EFI on it, and that night was no different. Still did the same thing. Even running an 1105, I still had it laying over in first gear. It ended up being a fueling problem. I actually caught it on a data log, so I've got an all new fuel system in this thing. Same EFI, but I put a new tank in it, new pump, new lines, all of that stuff. So hopefully we're gonna start Raceweek 2.0 on a good pass. All right, so we are in tech line for Raceweek. Now, I'm an express tech because I've raced this car this year in a major drag and drive. So that gets me through the driving portion of the tech to make sure we have lights, horns, insurance, all that stuff. And then next is NHRA tech. The track's gonna do that, and that's the only track we'll have to do. That as the first one. So hopefully we won't have any issues there. I should pass all that, I usually do. But we're gonna get through tech and then hopefully get back to the pits, get everything set up, and get ready to race. All right, guys, so we are finally unpacked, ready to go. We've teched in, passed all that, and car's ready, adjusted the air pressure. The guys pitting with us noticed my exhaust was hanging down, or a clamp was hanging down, so I fixed that. I had to fix my fuel pressure regulator, actually broke the adjusting stud off. I don't have any way to fix that, so that's gonna have to stay like it is. But it shouldn't be a problem, I hope. As long as it doesn't move, I'm not worried about it. I've got my tune ready. We're gonna go out and make a hit in just a few minutes. We're gonna call our class to the lanes. Hopefully, I'll get my 10-second pass this week. I doubt it'll be the first run, but maybe, I don't know. We'll see how it does. It's pretty warm here, and the DA is about 2,800 feet to 3,000, somewhere around there. It'll get better as the night goes, but first pass with a new fuel system, we're gonna see how it works. All right, so I made my first run, didn't go good. I pushed through the lights, so I didn't get a time slip because the tree wasn't set yet. And then it didn't run very good either. I kept losing fuel pressure going down the run, so it would be fuel pressure and then none, and fuel pressure and then none. So I'm not sure what's going on with it. I did get a data log, so I could see that the fuel pressure was an issue. I checked all my electrical connections the best I could. My relay, all that seems to be fine. I tightened everything up. I drove it around in the pits, tried to load it up, did a couple of burnouts, stuff like that I probably shouldn't have done here. And everything's fine. It's not doing it again, even with another data log. So I'm gonna go up and make another pass in a few minutes. And if it'll, hopefully it's fixed. It was maybe something that was loose that I tightened up before I tried it again. But if not, then I guess I'm gonna drop the tank and start looking at the pump and all that stuff. All right, so it's like 8:45. Still haven't made my second pass yet. They had a wreck not too long after I made a pass earlier. Guys, okay. Beautiful 57 Chevrolet had a bad day. But they cleaned that up, took a little while. Then they started running through everything again. And sorry, can't find my way back to my pit. Anyway, now I'm in the staging lanes and somebody else just oiled down the entire left side of the track. I'm talking about the whole quarter mile, shut down area, return road, all covered with oil. So everybody's waiting. It's already been like 45 minutes. It's gonna be another 20, 30 minutes before they're finished. And I get to make one more run. Now, I'm not sure if my fuel problem is gonna show back up because all I did was like tighten the grounds on the fuel pump, check a couple other things, and I can't get it to do it trying to load the car up in the pits, but I also can't load the car up really good in the pits in a safe manner with all the people around. So what I'm gonna do is go up and make another pass, and they're gonna try to get us to finish up the people in the lanes right now, and then get a whole nother group of everyone and run a third round. I really need that to happen. But if I can't, if it does it again, if the car breaks up again, I'm gonna come back to the pits, drop the tank, either change the pump or check and see if I did something dumb on the wiring of the pump. Maybe the spade terminal is beside the spade and not on it. I'm kind of wondering if that's what I did, because when I put the new pump and stuff together, I struggled with that a little bit. So that might come back and bite me in the butt, but I'm not sure. We're gonna go make a pass in a few minutes, and hopefully it'll be a good pass. But if not, I'm gonna come back and thrash on this thing and see if I can make a good pass tonight. I really need to. It's not a bad night to be in the pits, nice and cool. It was pretty warm earlier, but it's cooled down a bunch. So a lot of people here, all either getting ready to leave or getting ready to make another run, or in the staging lanes like me. But I had to walk back and get some of this stupid stuff right here. And now I'm heading back to the staging lanes, and hopefully by the time I get back, we'll get to run, because I'm tired and I know I'm gonna have to pull the tank probably. I mean, I just got a feeling there's something going on with it. I've got an extra pump. Now I changed to a 400 liter per hour pump, and I had a 255 in it, but I've got another brand new 255 with me that'll fit everything that I've got. And if I need to, I'll just throw a smaller pump in it. That still should be enough for the power I'm making. I upgraded to a 400 for future plans, but yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. So I got to make another pass, still had the same problem, and I ran 1163. I stayed in it, just beat the snot out of it, and ran 1163. So turned that in. I think from the cars that I know what they ran, I'm in 4th place. First place was a 1005, second place is a 1028, third place is a 1032, and then as far as I know, I'm in 4th. I'm not sure. I didn't see all of the cars in my class run, so I'm not sure, but I think it's fuel slosh. I had half a tank, and apparently that's not enough, because as soon as I made that pass, I pulled back around, I dropped the tank, pulled the pump out, couldn't find anything wrong with it. Didn't want to change the pump, because when I stayed in it, it got better. Once the car got through launching and the fuel wasn't sloshing around, it did fine, ran 118.5 mile an hour, something like that. So it's a fuel slosh problem. I went and found somebody that had some more gas, put 3 more gallons of gas in it, was gonna make another pass, see if that did it. But by that time, the dew had already fallen. You can see how wet it is here. The dew had already fallen, and they shut it down. So turned in 1163 for the first night of Rocky Mountain Raceweek 2.0. Morning, guys. Yesterday was a rough day. I ended up in 7th place for the first night. Some people jumped over into our class that were originally in other classes. So we're headed to Ennis, Texas today, to Texas Motorplex. I'm going to fill the tank up completely with fuel to hopefully figure out that it's a fuel slosh problem. And we'll go from there. So it's only 167 miles. Shouldn't be too bad of a drive, and we'll see you guys at the track. All right, we're at our first checkpoint, which is a smiley face choo-choo train in Palestine, Texas. Yeah, so I'm in line. I'm gonna have to jump out real quick, take a picture of the car in front of this thing after everybody else will move, and then we'll head on to Ennis. All right, we are at checkpoint number 2 for the day. We are in, I don't know where we're at. We're at Russell Stover's candy store. So, pretty cool place. Gonna go in and get some chocolate, maybe have some shipped home, because it's too hot to keep it in the car. It'll melt. And we got about 23 or 24 miles to get to the Texas Motorplex when we leave here. Then we can set up our pit, go check in the hotel, and start racing sometime after 3 o'clock. All right, guys, we're at Rocky Mountain Raceweek, day 2. Try to get the sun out of your eyes. Got here, I filled the tank completely full of gas. I was hoping that was gonna solve my fuel slosh problem, and it did. But now my computer's got to get the tune right, because it hasn't had the correct volume of fuel in that area of the tune yet. So now that it does, it's gonna have to adjust. I've changed it a little bit. My first pass I ran up and made, it was an 11:31 at 118. So that's 3/10 better than last night. But it was pretty hot. It's like a 3,900 density altitude. So that sucks. That's a lot of heat, not good air. So hopefully it's gonna cool down here in just a little while. I'm gonna make another pass. I've adjusted the tune just a little bit. And I did kind of roll into it instead of, my 60 foot was off about 800s because I rolled into it instead of hammering on it. So I'm gonna do that different. Tune's gonna be different. and hopefully the DA is going to be a little bit better. All right, so they're about to call small block back to the lanes, so I'm going to go make another pass, change the tune a little bit. I'm going to try to leave harder. We're going to see how this goes. All right, so we made another run. I went 11:24 at 118. So that's a lot better. Now, right now, if I turn that in with my 11:63 last night, I will have an 11:43 average. I think that's what I figured up. One of the other cars, or truck, actually, a Ford truck that was in here that went 1094 last night, he broke today, so he's out. Haven't seen a couple of the other cars that were faster than me last night. I haven't seen them run at all today. So I'm not sure if they're still here. I'm gonna walk around and see. So I'm at least not 7th anymore, I'm 6th. Hopefully I'll move up some more. So we're gonna make another hit here in a little while. The DA is dropping pretty quick. It's getting nice and cool. And hopefully I'll pick up, maybe run a 10-10, or 11-10 or 11-0 or something like that. All right, so we've had a couple of oil downs and it doesn't look like I'm gonna make another pass tonight. Now I do have a fast pass that I can use at any time this week. I could go up and use that to make a better pass. And I'm thinking about it, but I might not. I've made 2 passes. I'm trying to find, there's 2 people that's in front of me that I have not seen all day. And I've got a good enough pass to where if they've dropped out or if they're not here, then I'm ahead of them. So I'm gonna hopefully turn in the 11:24 that I've already ran, and that'll put me in 4th or 5th, depending on who else drops out or runs another pass tonight. I'm just not sure. All right, guys, it is Tuesday morning. Today is a drive day. Now, right now, I'm sitting in 4th place. I've got an 11:43 average. I think 3rd place has a 10:33 average. So I'm way out of 3rd place. But I'm only 200ths or 300ths in front of the guy in 5th place. So I think I can stay in 4th place just because I think I can go faster than I already have, and he's turned in 2 passes about the same time. So maybe he has more in his car also. I'm not sure, but I think I can hang on to 4th place. I'm pretty excited about that. Today we got to drive 450 miles. Let's hit the road. All right, so about 100 miles down on our first leg of the journey this morning. Got 437 miles, I think. So got a checkpoint coming up in about 20 miles. We stopped at a Buc-ee's to get some fuel and some sweet tea. So yeah, gonna stretch our legs for a minute real quick, get back in the car. We should be at the checkpoint in about 30 minutes. And then we'll go ahead from the checkpoint to the next checkpoint and probably spend 8 to 10 hours on the road today. And it's pretty rough in this little car with no air, but it's not bad. It's a pretty cool day. And the route so far has been interstate, which is not typical for race week, but at the same time, it's, you know, part of it sometimes. So that'll be all the interstate we have to take today. So I'm glad about that, but hopefully the rest of the route will be a little bit better. All right, so we stopped here to get something to drink and get some gas and check my oil. I was 2 quarts low, but going down the interstate at 3,400 RPM will do that. The problem I have is my grommet broke from my breather. So now I've got to find an O'Reilly's, which I think there's one like a mile down the road. We're gonna go there, see if I can grab a breather and a grommet, change that, be back on the road. All right, so I'm somewhere in Louisiana, not sure where. I hit a bump and something sounded different than the normal rattles and stuff I have when I hit a bump. So I got out and checked, and my gas tank strap is loose on the passenger side. And when I put this new tank in, the strap didn't really fit tight, so I had to use a longer bolt. And now the strap has stretched or bent a little bit to the form of the tank because the new tank was shaped a little different, and now it's loose. So I'm gonna get under there and see if I can raise it up and tighten it up by myself. All right, see if I hold it. Now, I do have oil all over the bottom of the gas tank, so I've got a pretty good oil leak, and I had to put 2 quarts in it earlier. So I'm gonna check the oil again real quick, and as long as it's okay, I'm gonna keep going. And when we get to the hotel tonight, I'll have to look for an oil leak, see what's leaking. All right, so my strap is fitting pretty tight now, but before it wasn't. It was not the same shape as this tank. It was the other one, and I had too long of a bolt in here because I had to make the difference up. Well, after driving around a bunch, the tank was getting beat on, and it actually formed the strap to the tank. Well, then I had too much slop here, so the tank was bouncing around against my spacer I've got up there, because this is a 74 trunk with a 69 tank, or older style tank. So I jacked it up, held the strap, put a shorter bolt in there. I couldn't get the J nut, or the speed nut or whatever. I couldn't get the bolt into it, so I just put a nut with a washer and another nut to pull everything up tight. So it should be good. Might be valve covers or something like that, but I've got some oil on the bumper back here, not bad, but after 300 miles, it's enough. All right, so we're back on the road. Now, if you're doing Rocky Mountain Raceweek or Raceweek, one thing you might see is people, or if you're in one of the towns we're driving through, one thing you might see is if we're broken down on the side of the road, or if someone else sees us and we're driving past, you'll see us give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And basically, if you're broke down and you do need help, you give a thumbs down, like this. If you're on the side of the road and you don't need help, you give a thumbs up, like that. So, pretty easy way to determine if you need to stop and help somebody. And if you give a thumbs down, plenty of people are going to stop. So we just got through fixing my fuel tank issue. My wife was out there giving everybody a thumbs up because I got it done by myself. Not a big deal. And we're back on the road. We got one more checkpoint and then about 90 more miles to go. We got about 30 miles to the checkpoint, 90 miles after that to the hotel, and we're going to get some rest. Oh, and I got to find that oil leak. All right, so coming through Louisiana, I started getting a bad rattling. Thought it was a gas tank, which was loose. I fixed that. That wasn't a problem. Kept doing it, kept checking things. And I started thinking, maybe it's my shocks. Well, it wasn't my shock. Y'all remember my shock mount relocation video where I made my custom shock mount relocation? Well, my shock Crossmember broke. The cool thing is, when I built that Crossmember, I designed it to use factory shocks. So all I should have to do is remove the shock from that Crossmember and install it in the factory location, and I'm good. So I'm going to try that. Hopefully it'll fit with the tire size I've got on here. All right, so I'm going to put my shock back in the stock location. Stopped it at AutoZone, which is where we found the problem. And it had a previously opened shock bolt kit because the shock mount that I had is too large. This one might be the same thing. I might screw it up. Anyway, I don't have a drill bit with me to get through the traction bar, which is a different size. So I guess I'm going to back up and put just a 7/16 bolt in it for now, because I'm ready to get out of here. That's not the right diameter, but it's better. I don't think this bolt will go through I don't think it'll go through there either. So I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do. I guess I'll put the 7/16 in there. I wish I had a sleeve, but I don't. But I'm gonna make it work so we can get on the road. Now the road between here and our hotel is a pretty rough road. So I think the other side will be fine, or it'll break and then I'll have to do the other side too. But I'm not gonna go ahead and do both sides right now. So I'm just going to do the one side and hope it's okay. I really thought that a 1/2 inch would go through there, but it'll be all right. I'll figure it out. All right, so I couldn't get a bolt to fit, so I went and bought a drill bit. I thought I could put some in there, but I guess I left it in another box. So I went and bought me a little cheap. And when I say cheap, I mean it's cheap. It was not inexpensive. It was expensive, but bought me a little unibit. And I think it's gonna save the day. Let's see here. Yep, that'll work just fine. See, I've already boogered this one up, so I use it to beat the last little. No, I'm not. Gotta drill it more. I don't want to really get the whole cone shape, but I guess with the unibit, I don't have much choice. I can't drill in from the other side because I don't have room. There we go. Now we're in business. So I get my good bolt. I get me a washer that I don't freaking have. Where's it at? I got a washer here somewhere. I just had a big flat washer. I moved them all, and I don't know where they're at. Oh, goodness.
You need me to go get the bag? Here's the bag.
Going right here. All right, so that should get me through the shock. See if I can get my top bolts in first, and if I can get my top bolts in, then I'll tighten that up, because I don't want to make it where I can't get the I need that red swivel socket box right there.
This one?
Yep, that's the one.
Oh, shit.
Hand me one in the tray. One in the tray. Right, that's the one. Nope, the other one. There you go. Thank you. All right. So what I'm gonna do? See if I can get new bolts in the top of this shock. If I can get my light where I can see it. Here we go. Oh, that's a 5/16, not a half-inch. And I don't, or a 3/8, 3/8. I thought it was 3/8. It's not a 3/8. Damn it. All right, so got my hole drilled. I did not have the right bolts. I thought it was 3/8 bolts, and I didn't bring any short enough 5/16 bolts. So now I got those, and I can put some washers on them and bolt the top of my shock in. Now, since I've got the car jacked up and the rear end's hanging down, I may not be able to get the shock up where I need it to bolt these in. I might be able to get them started, but y'all know these shocks don't extend quite far enough when the rear is jacked up, and that is definitely the problem I'm having here. So I'm gonna have to take this loose, and I'll put the bottom back on after I get the wheel on and get the car back down. So I'll get the top on first, because the bottom's easier to get with the car on the ground. So see if we can get going to try to fix my Crossmember at the hotel tonight. But if I have to, I'll leave the shock in the stock location and I'll move the passenger side also. All right. And this is a half-inch, which is right there. Well, I just found the 5/16 bolts I thought I had. Oh well, got some new ones. All right, top of the shock is bolted in. I might be able to get, yeah, I think I can get it in. There we go. I just didn't have it extended all the way. So that's not ideal. You really need a shock that takes up the whole thing, but it's going to get me out of this bind. So I'm okay with it. And I think the tire will clear. I think everything's going to clear. So we'll find out. We'll find out shortly. Because I fixed to throw the tire back on it, and we should be good unless the other side decides to break too. So. All right, now I got to peek under here and see if I clear the tire with the shock. Yep. I don't know if you can tell. It looks like I got, if I can get it to focus, looks like I got enough room around everything. So yeah, if I have to, I'll put the other shock back in the stock location also, but we're good to go. All right, we're on the road. About 35 miles to go to get to our hotel, and I'm beat. All right, guys, we're at day 4, third track, but 4th day, and yesterday was pretty brutal. Got the car fixed again this morning. Last night got it to the hotel with the driver's side shock in the stock location. This morning I got to the track and I drilled through the frame and through the shock mount that I made where it was broken on both sides and bolted it to the frame rail. That'll get me through the rest of the week and I'll redo everything. But this morning we ran pretty quick after I got it fixed. So my first pass was at 11:25. And then my second pass was at 11:29. So it's getting hotter by the minute. We're running during the day this time, which is backwards what we normally do. And I'm working on the tune a little bit. I think I can get it do a little bit better, but it's gotten a lot hotter too, so I'm not sure. If I put the 11:25, if I turn that ticket in, that'll should keep me in 4th place unless somebody else just runs something crazy, which so far they have not. So hopefully I'm still in 4th place, and then I can maybe make up some ground tomorrow. I'm way out of 3rd, but I just want more safety tomorrow to make sure nobody else can catch me, because there's a couple of people fairly close. All right, guys, today we're at Twin City Raceway in Monroe, Louisiana. About to go up and make a pass. I've changed my tune up a little bit. Hopefully I'll get a better pass I didn't record much yesterday. I didn't feel good. Made 3 passes. My best pass was 11:25. I turned that in, and my average right now is at 11:37. I'm in 4th place, and 5th place is like 11:43 average. But he's getting faster, and I'm not. So I got to do something. Now it's hot, so my first pass probably won't be great. And then we're racing at night today, so it's going to get, the air's going to get better as we race. So hopefully my best pass, my best pass should be the later pass, because it'll get a lot cooler, much better air. So let's hope for something like 11 teens. Friday. It's the last day of race week. Right now I'm sitting in 5th place. As long as I make it back, I'll lock in 5th place. Now I'm only 300 of a second out of 4th, but you know, it is what it is. We just went through Shreveport. We actually left a couple of hours ago. We're on the route, just went through Shreveport and stopped at our first checkpoint, which was Dyno Mad Performance. Did that, did a little burnout. And now we're headed to our second checkpoint. I'm not sure where it is, but heading that way. We'll be back in Lufkin in just a little while. All right, we're on the final 70 or 80 miles, and I'm getting a strong fuel smell. So I'm going to pull over where we find somewhere to pull over that's in the shade and looking. It might just be the way the air's hitting the car, pushing some fumes inside, but it smells kind of like raw fuel, so I don't know. My fuel pressure's fine. I'm not dropping. My fuel gauge is not dropping. Everything's running good. I'm not on fire yet, so it's probably okay, but I want to stop and check it. Alright, so I just pulled off and stopped. Tightened up my fuel fitting. There was a little bit of fuel on it, but not bad. Just like a drop or two. It wasn't leaving a puddle or anything. But I think it was mostly, the smell was mostly the wind blowing different for a few minutes, just blowing some fumes into the car, since the car's not sealed up very well at all. So back on the road, we've got about 30 miles, 33 miles left to the last checkpoint of the day, and about 10 miles after that, and we'll be back at the track. All right, we just had our last checkpoint, which was Mass Motorsports. The guy gave us a little tour, pretty freaking cool. When we left there, I noticed I've got some noise coming from the back of the car. I'm not sure if it's a wheel bearing or C-clip eliminator, a wheel bearing on the trailer, or if my brakes have come apart. Is this it? Okay, sorry. About to miss my exit. But yeah, I've got some noise, so we've only got about 7 or 8 miles left to get to the track, so we're trying. All right, guys, we just made it back to the track. We've still got to break the beams to officially finish. They're going to do that after a while. I'm walking out to my truck to get my tow rig so we can sit in the air conditioning, and then I think we're going to drop the trailer and go get some food, because I am starving. It's like 2 o'clock, about 2:15, something like that. And I'm walking down to the end of the track to get to the tow vehicles. All right, guys, that's it for race week. I ended up in 5th with an 11:35 average. The guy in front of me had an 11:32 average, so I wasn't very far off. But you know, there's no trophy, no money for, you know, 3rd, 4th or 5th place. So kind of didn't matter anyway, unless somebody would have dropped out on the last day on the way to the track, which we don't want that. We want everybody to make it back in one piece. I did have a few issues this week, and I'm gonna have to change a few things on the car if I'm gonna keep beating on it like this. The Louisiana roads were insanely rough. They weren't nice to the car or our bodies at all. But we're done. We made it through the week, made the whole route, fixed every issue we had, except for the going fast part, but we're still working on that. And we'll see you guys in the next video.